Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. This is Queena. Welcome to episode number 34. Let's just get into the news quickly. Now, as we draw closer to closer to the end of 2018, right? Google search what is topping their list is no surprise. Is what other than what is Bitcoin. And apart from that, people also basically cryptocurrencies are really the top searches that people are looking for, right? So this is interesting. Admits all the crash is actually making all the news, right? So it's actually a good thing in a way. And increasingly, so back to this one. So just quickly. So I guess if crashes can get more people on board the cryptocurrency revolution, it'd be great. But I fear it might be just the other way, right? People might be just searching, but they're still too afraid to actually get involved personally, I think, because of the crash and the negative news are probably too strong, right? Despite the searches, but I think people are just at least they are interested, so probably they will wait and see before to see when they will get into the market. So it might be a good thing in a way. So this crash might not be that bad after all, right? So it actually serves a good purpose to get more people aware and interested in this new asset class, right? And this new technology. And so hopefully by next year or the year after that, when things started to improve, right? When the market turns, then people will basically prefer to buy, when prices go up, right? So yeah, but at least hopefully this crash has a purpose, has a good silver lining that, actually it gets people interested in cryptocurrency, right? Yeah. Next is very interesting. This is another news that just show that cryptocurrency are slowly gaining momentum. Definitely gaining more attention. Yeah. So subsidiary of the University of Cambridge, Judge Business School, has recently published its second annual report into the crypto economy. Now, it is very interesting. Their first report, right? Their inaugural report was actually published in April 2017, and then after that, of course, the market peaked and keep booming and peaked at early 2018. But it's interesting also that this year, which amidst all this market doom and gloom, right, the winter, they still continue to publish this report. So in a way, it signifies that they do see this technology as here to stay, right? This asset class as here to stay. That's how I read it. Let's just quickly go into some of the interesting findings that they have. From what I can see here is that people are still not many people, only a quarter of wallets are actually using hardware wallets, yeah. And share of storage providers supporting listed formats. Storage providers. Okay, so this is external provider. So obviously, most of the storage providers, that means so centralized party, are definitely more into more convenient options. So mobile wallet is the most, right, followed by web wallet. So no surprise, but they also have hardware wallets. And if you looked at it, there's not much difference between 2017 and 2018, except that mobile wallets is probably the one. No, in fact, it dropped. Web wallets is the one that actually increased a lot, but otherwise everything is pretty much the same. And let me see what else was interesting. No, that's it. But I thought the more interesting thing is that you have a Cambridge University, which is a very old university, right? That actually looking into this new asset class and continue to publish its report this year amidst the market doom and gloom, right? More news of the development of these industries, right? Yubitrap blockchain exchange, they actually have secured insurance coverage for their crypto assets. And this is interesting because security is, of course, one of the main concerns, right, that people have about putting assets into centralized exchanges like, those crypto exchanges, right? But now they seem Gibraltar Blockchain Exchange has seemed to be the first one to have actually secured insurance coverage for all their assets that's listed on this exchange. So yes, this is interesting, but it didn't say how much is the limit. That is what I'm interested in, because for example, for deposit in banks, right, there's always a limit on how much the insurance will cover, right? That means in the case of bank collapse, bank going bankrupt, your deposit may not be recovered in full, so you should check in each country their laws. And in Singapore, it's only up to 50,000 per bank. So I'm not sure how much is insurance for this exchange, but in a way it's good that they have, but it's still important to check how much is the limit. It's probably low, then you might question again. You might then still need to split your eggs, right? That means you still need to put your assets in cold wallets, or on another exchange. This one, German Stock Exchange will launch crypto trading platform. So the second largest stock exchange in Germany, the Stuttgart Exchange, has partnered with Solaris Bank's Blockchain Factory to come up with a cryptocurrency exchange that is going to be launched in first half of 2019. See, this is interesting. In the US also, NASDAQ and BACT are all going to launch futures in either Q1, right, of 2019, and now you have German stock exchange, the second biggest stock exchange, partnering with another bank, right, to also operate an exchange, right? So it's very interesting. Similarly, another Europe nation, France, they want to invest 500 million euros to make France a blockchain nation. So it's very interesting. So now we have more and more European countries, Western Europe countries, actually being more friendly and being really want to get involved in the space. So you already have heard days ago where UK is saying that they want to follow or higher footsteps to accept cryptocurrencies as a form of tax payments. And now you have France wanting to be a blockchain nation. And of course, we have already Switzerland being a very friendly hub for cryptocurrency, and Germany, is very active in also facilitating all the activities from happening, right? All this infrastructure. Exciting. Whereas US CFTC, they are seeking public feedback to gain better understanding of the Ethereum framework. Very interesting. Because what happened is that means that they want to know more. So it's Commodity Futures Trading Commission. They basically want to understand more about Ethereum. So they want to get educated, right? And why do they want to get educated? I believe it's basically they want to see how they can, play perhaps a more active role in facilitating the innovation of this industry, right? How to develop this industry further. And honestly, really in a way, US versus other European countries, they're still not very clear guidelines, in US, right? US is still very mixed views, I would say, right? It's not completely open, right? If they were to say they're completely open like Switzerland, definitely, things will move much faster on Wall Street, but it's still not very clear, right? And also SEC has come up time and again saying that they will not approve Bitcoin ETF, right? And all that. So yes, they're still not that friendly, right? Because Switzerland already have an exchange traded product on crypto. Yes. This another thing which is then very interesting again, positive for cryptocurrency overall, is Samsung has denied that they're developing wallets, but it seems that what they're doing is actually they are going to integrate a wallet inside their phone, Galaxy S10, right? Why are they doing this, right? Just make you think, right? They are definitely among the biggest smartphone company in the world, right? After iPhone, right? Definitely very big. And why they see this, and they originated from Korea market, all the young population are actually very much into crypto. And, in the next 10 years, 20 years, definitely these young people will they will basically, it will come natural to them. It's like second nature, without thinking, they're going to be adopting cryptocurrency, no doubt, right, for people in Korea. And it is probably very smart for company like Samsung to actually, anticipate ahead, right? So then basically you capture the ecosystem in your phone, right? And basically, so it's very easy, right? You don't need to, so when you buy Galaxy S10, you already have a crypto wallet embedded in it. So there's less trouble, or rather much more convenient for you to get on board the crypto revolution, right? So this is probably another winning feature that people might choose Samsung versus, let's say, iPhone, right? Yeah. Next up, right, again, here you are seeing basically the cryptocurrency industry is actually stealing talent away from the mainstream industry. And this is very interesting because it's from PayPal, which is the payment giant today, is former PayPal executive actually joining Crypto.com. Crypto.com, formerly called Monaco, they already has issued, and it's already a working debit card, crypto debit card, where actually people in US and Singapore, now that they've issued cards in US and Singapore, where people can, in US and Singapore can actually use that card to actually pay for daily purchases like Starbucks or McDonald's just using cryptocurrency, and they partner with Visa, so the payment is very fast as well. It's just within seconds, it's just like how fast you pay pay with normal credit cards. Yeah, so basically it is very exciting because what this signifies to me is that it's really going into it's really, the talents are really flowing into cryptocurrency. Is really this is what we are increasingly seeing, and it's just happening day by day. Yeah. Venezuela is forcibly converting pension balances to the petrol. Now, this is exactly why, right, cryptocurrency is gaining so much popularity in Venezuela, and places like Argentina, because, right, of governments like this, right, where they just they don't. This is exactly what happens when there is a possible or central source to say control your money, and you are not even asked at all. You have no say at all over the purchasing power of your money. Yes, you will still have those digits of your pension, but how much those pension will buy, that is the problem, and that is what's happening now in Venezuela, because they're basically converting. When you withdraw your pension, they are basically going to price it in petrol, and petrol versus the current currency in Venezuela is called Bolivia, is still fluctuating a lot as well. So there's no really, the purchasing power is really bad, right? And the inflation, they're getting hyperinflation is more than 1,000%. And that's why there's also a campaign going on to say, airdrop to donate to people in Venezuela who needs it, right? So, yeah. On the flip side, of course, this news is basically just remind everyone in the industry that we are still very early on in the game, and we still really have to work hard. The industry and the developers really have to work hard, take this time of crash and dome to actually make sure we have a really great working product, right? It may take time, but let it take time, right? But we rather have a great product that take time rather than a half-baked product, right? Because like actually 1 week ago, we have news that Lightning Network, adoption is higher, channels are much higher, and the nodes are much stronger now. And a lot of Bitcoins are on it. But now that they are testing it on the real merchants, they are basically facing a lot of problems, right? Although yes, the payments can be processed within 5 to 10 seconds, but actually there's still a lot of problems. Among others, is like they cannot run several redundant servers simultaneously, which is a critical feature for online retailers, right? Yeah. So basically, it went on to say that when I say, the test found that Lightning Network was still in a very early stage of development. We have been operating the system for 4 months, and crashes can and will happen all the time. Yes. So I think basically for now, right, it's really one of those times that it's still in the early days. Yes. So we really need to get all this up and running and working perfectly, right? And then in the future, then you will have a good basis for the price to rally up. Yeah. And lastly, right, just want to end with Coinbase as well, because on a more happy note, so this is they have announced, Coinbase have announced the 12 days of Coinbase. We're going to give, basically in the spirit of giving, they're going to give back to society, right? So the second day is basically they're going to donate to Venezuela, which they're going to donate $1 worth of crypto in 100 families crypto wallets every day for 3 months using Zcash. So yeah, so that's good. It's basically, giving them more access to a much more stable currency that can, buy things at a definitely at a higher purchasing power than what they have now, Petro or Bolivia, right? So the way I see it is really, right, it means all this crash and doom, right? That's on one side is all bad, yes. So the other side of it is, yes, you do have um, mainstream institutions, big names, right, like Samsung, University of Cambridge, Gibraltar Blockchain Exchange, Germany's second largest stock exchange, Stuttgart, right? Are all, well, PayPal, people moving into crypto. So there are still a lot of good things happening in the cryptocurrency, right? While we're still seeing a lot of gloom and gloom, right? A lot of people are still like selling. And so, I really see this as like a tale of two cities. Yeah. So yes, that's how I see it, right? Okay. Now, yeah, we'll hope that one day the two trains or the two cities will just merge, right? But let's just yeah, but I think meanwhile it might be also a good thing because again, like, if Google searches show that now is the time that people actually might be more interested to find out about crypto, so you will get another group of people on board as well. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day, and yes, hope we see you tomorrow. Thank you so much.